Kingdom.
Live.
Salon, what's hot? Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper and go get it.
It's my home's house. And it is good. Woo! Arrowhead man. The Lombardi Trophy has a red and gold reflection. You gotta fight for your right to party.
Woo! What's up, gentlemen?
Howdy, Chiefs Kingdom. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's Chiefs Kingdom Live. Thank you so much for swinging by, tuning in. While you're here, don't forget, click or tap that like, click or tap that subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a Chiefs fan, tell them to tell some Chiefs fans. Help spread the word. We'd sure appreciate it. We got a good show tonight. As you can see, all three of us are in the same spot broadcasting live. A little bit of a special announcement here before we get into things. Bo is
I'm here.
Yeah, he's
here.
I'm here in Kansas City now.
You're here to stay, at least for a while, right?
Yeah, we're going to be doing some live podcasts now for the rest of the season. Just got in today, so good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome to hang out, guys.
Yeah, no, awesome. This is fun. So Bo's going to be living here in Kansas City for the next 3-4-ish months. So just in time to catch the playoff and Super Bowl run that is inevitably coming for the first place Kansas City Chiefs. We'll get into that. Fellas, how are we doing? Bo, you're doing good?
Doing excellent, man. Long drive from New Mexico to here. Pretty boring, not a lot to look at. But awesome to get here and ready to talk about some Chiefs with you guys.
Yeah, that is a long drive. Definitely a long drive. I've driven it more than once. So, Nick, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Bo's here.
Yeah.
Chiefs currently have the best record or tied for the best record in the NFL, best record in the AFC. They have the longest winning streak in the NFL. I mean, it's what's not to be happy about, right?
Yeah, no. Life is good in Chiefs Kingdom. We'll talk about the big win by the Kansas City Chiefs. We will break down round 2 against the Broncos. I don't know what Nick's trying to do here now.
I'm trying to plug my shit in.
But
it'll be a short podcast.
We'll be breaking those games down, and we got our weekly poll coming up here. So let's just get into some news. Biggest news right now is Chiefs linebacker Nick Bolton.
Dude.
Suffers the dislocated wrist and is looking like he's going to be out a couple of months. I think I saw 7 to 8 weeks for Nick Bolton.
That's what I saw, yeah.
The only negative outcome out of a pretty positive game, really, for the Chiefs against the Chargers. Nick, what do you think this means for the Chiefs, and how do they live for a few months without Nick Bolton?
I mean, the good news is Drew Tranquil stepped in, got a sack, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's looking good. Man, that looks like a great signing right now for depth, right? Yeah, I mean, my first initial thought was I got to check on Bo, make sure he's all right. Bolton's like his dude.
Dude, I almost cried. That was sad.
You know, what's fucked up is like they're talking about it and they're like, oh, they did X-rays and it's just dislocated and it's like,
yeah,
dislocated, not broken, right?
Good
and
news.
Then the doctor guy on Twitter is like, actually, a dislocated wrist is way worse.
We kind of hope for a break there.
Right. Yeah. So we're just hoping to have a speedy recovery. But I mean, it'll be tough, right? But that's the NFL season. You got to be able to take some injuries. You know that you're going to lose a couple of people throughout the season. You just got to forge ahead.
Yeah, it's almost expected, right? Like you're bound to lose somebody to injury at some point during the season. Just unfortunate it has to be Nick Bolton, like one of my favorite players on the team, on defense especially. Just kind of got back too off of a little injury and had himself a hell of a game against the Broncos. Was having a great game this week before he got hurt too. He's definitely going to be missed, but as Nick said, Drew Tranquil coming in, stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, revenge game.
Yeah, the revenge game, you can see that. I mean, he had a fire under his ass. He was everywhere on the field. Loved what he was doing. But as far as like what that means for us, the next couple months, we played the Broncos without Nick Bolton already, so we kind of know what that's going to look like, and we already know that Drew Tranquil and company can step up. So this next week should be pretty similar to what we saw the first time we played the Broncos.
Yeah.
I don't see like any crazy deficiencies happening on the defensive side of it anyway this week with him being out. But we'll get more into that later on. But yeah,
The Chiefs. Nick Bolton missed a couple of games there with the ankle injury, and they didn't miss a beat necessarily. The defense didn't fall apart.
right.
They still went undefeated without Nick Bolton. So it's definitely a big loss. But Drew Tranquill, we just can't say enough. I was looking like maybe the biggest signing of the offseason
It's
at
huge.
this point.
It's pretty big.
I don't know if I want to say season saver because this is an offensive-minded team with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid, but the defense has held their own, and they've played well up to par with the Chiefs' offense. So, yeah, I don't want to say like it's a season-ending injury or it's a season-saving signing with Shrinkwell, but the guy has come in and done it all. He's been good against the run. He's getting sacks, pressuring the quarterback, dropping back in coverage. He's got that green dot on the helmet, so he's kind of quarterbacking the defense, getting the guys in the right positions and making sure the plays are coming in. So they're going to have to lean on that guy more than they did before. But, hey, like you just said, we've seen it for a couple of weeks here already without Nick Bolton. But you want to get Nick Bolton back. I'm not trying to say like it's not a big loss or that it doesn't hurt to lose a player like Nick Bolton, but the way Drew Tranquill has played and stepped up and that depth that he provides is really paying dividends for this team right now.
Yeah, it's one of those injuries you're just kind of like, at least we have a backup plan, right?
Yeah.
Like if we didn't have Drew Tranquill or somebody of full caliber, then it would be like really worrisome. I mean, it still just sucks. But.
Did you guys see his post-game comments? No. So they were talking to him, and he's like, well, it's like teams got to be able to close it out in the fourth quarter. He's like, that's what the difference is between like good teams and bad teams in the NFL. Shots fired against the Chargers, hardcore, dude.
I mean, he's right though.
Yeah,
he's not wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit of Chiefs maybe related news. Frank Clark signs with the Seattle Seahawks.
Just got my jersey.
So weird that the reports are out that he was in Kansas City and that he was going to be having a physical with the team after being released by the Broncos and clearing waivers. He was posting on X and social media about being back in Kansas City and was going to meet up with a fan to sign some gear. And it looked like the reunion was on, and then kind of radio silence. And then you hear that he's signing with the Seattle Seahawks I'm not going to call the Seattle Seahawks home because he came here and won 2 Super Bowls. So I'm sure if you asked him, he would probably consider Kansas City home, even though Seattle's the team that drafted him. But they traded him away. Turned out to be a killer trade for the Chiefs. He was the integral part of winning 2 Super Bowls and going to 3 here in Kansas City. Frank Clark, Nick, disappointed or disappointment level of him not coming back?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy about it. Like, it would have been cool, but I mean, really, like the defense is playing well,
Yeah.
And so you sit there and you go, okay, so I mean, everybody's already upset about Coburn getting picked up by the Broncos because we put him, we cut him and we're gonna sign him to the practice squad. You got to wonder who else is going to lose their spot. I mean, we all love Frank Clark. We love what he's done for our team. Is he point in his career where one of these other guys that are playing well, would be worth bringing him on? And I guess that's the mental math that as a GM you got to do. And so I wish him well. He's going back to Seattle where, he started his career. And, you always be in our hearts, Frank, but it just didn't work out this time.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm disappointed. I just thought it would have been cool if he joined it, right? Like, our defense is rocking this year, and so it was just like, man, just add another weapon. Yeah, why not? Let's bring the Shark back. I was a little more personally upset just because I just got on Chiefs bids and got his signed jersey, and so I was really looking forward to that kind of reunion coming, but it is what it is. If this had been like, a stud receiver that was like we're looking at coming in, I think I would have been like way more disappointed that like we didn't get a good offensive weapon. But luckily we, Hardman came in this week, so we got him. But I'm not too disappointed that he's not here. I mean, it would just be like icing on top, cherry on top kind of thing if he had signed with us.
Yeah, you guys know I'm a big Shark fan.
Yeah.
Love Frank Clark.
Big Shark fan,
dude. I like Sharks too, but look, the guy. Not only is he a good player who stepped up in the postseason and the Super Bowl in big moments, but I feel like he just brought an attitude and a nastiness and an edge to this defense that was sorely lacking. And you saw it in the Patrick's first year as a starter against the Patriots and that entire season, really, where the Chiefs were scoring 50 points and losing.
Yeah.
And they put up 30-plus points on the Patriots at home, the AFC Championship game, and lose. That dude brought a swagger and an attitude to the defense that really helped kind of turn that defense around and make it championship caliber.
Sure.
Always going to miss his post-game interviews, his social media posts. We were talking about this earlier. I can't remember if it was his first year. I think it was. He played the Ravens, and it was in Baltimore. And all the talk was how hot the Ravens were and the Chiefs, and are the Ravens the best team in the NFL? And they're playing the Chiefs, and they're at home. And the Chiefs just smoked the Ravens in Baltimore. And after the game, Frank Clark put out a tweet and a post on his social media that said, we just kicked in their door and stole their shit. And I just remember thinking, dude, that is what every defense needs. That's what this defense needs, a guy with that attitude that to come in there and just brought a little nasty to the defense, to be quite honest. Stepped up, like I said, in key moments. I mean, he got the sack against Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
It sent us that first Super Bowl in 50 years. So he's not going to an AFC team. I kind of wish he would have never put on that Broncos jersey.
I know. Kind of tainted it, right? Kind of tainted him a little.
Kind of like the Jamal Charles deal. Like, what are you doing, man?
The way he kind of went there and then said, hey, this isn't a rivalry. Like, we didn't look at you guys as a rival when I played there. Took some money and then, basically didn't really deliver anything and then left. It's kind of funny, really.
Right. So he goes back to Seattle where his career started, and wish him luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Unless we play him in the Super Bowl, and then we're not going to wish him too much luck. But, Frank Clark's a Chiefs legend. Dante Hall went into the Ring of Honor, the Chiefs Hall of Fame. Do you think we see Frank Clark's name up on the Ring of Honor in Arrowhead someday?
No, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah,
man. I know that he's contributed a lot, and you spelled out some really great points, especially being like the clutch guy on the Super Bowl team. But I don't know. I feel like that's kind of reserved for players that start and finish their career in KC. I could be wrong. I'm sure somebody will fact check me and find somebody that isn't. But it seems like that's one of the qualifiers for that.
Yeah, Nick, you think you see Frank Clark up there someday?
Yeah, definitely.
You do?
Yeah, okay. I do too. I think I'm not. If he doesn't, I won't be surprised.
Right.
But I definitely think you see him up there.
No, he's almost got the playoff sack record, right? So I mean, it's just two-time Super Bowl champion for us. I don't know. You could be right? Maybe,
Pro Bowler.
Maybe he didn't play long enough for the Chiefs, right? Like a Tim Grunhard or somebody, but. I don't know, man.
Dante Hall wasn't here that long. He was here for a few years with Dick Vermeil, and he made it up there. So, excuse me, be interesting to see. But he goes back to Seattle. So let's just get into this game. Chiefs beat the Los Angeles Chargers 31-17.
Damn.
I was at that game.
Good.
I'm just gonna say right now, that was a fun ass game. I was loving it.
That was a fun ass game to watch. I can only imagine.
No, that was a great game. Just before we kind of talk about maybe individual players that stood out or plays or whatnot, just overall thoughts from you two on the game and how it went. Nick, how are you feeling watching that game? What were you thinking?
So first half, I mean, offense looks great, and I'm like, oh no, did our defense just revert?
Right?
Just switch back.
Second half, kind of the opposite. Defense kicked in, pitched a shutout in the second half. You're getting there towards the end of the game, and the Chiefs they get that touchdown, right? And then you're just cruising. I mean, it wasn't like a what's going to happen in the last couple of minutes type deal. Yeah. Really felt like a pretty comfortable game overall. Right? I mean, the offense played well. The defense played well in the second half. I mean, really, one of my key thoughts was did the Chargers really pay Justin Herbert $260 million because he beat Patrick Mahomes at one time?
That one time,
dude, you did it that one time. He's like, I know, man, $250 million. Yeah, I don't know. So,
yeah, Yeah, it's Justin Herbert here in a minute. But Bo, just how'd you feel? What were your thoughts on the game overall?
Couple thoughts, right? I was sitting there thinking, like, how much would it suck to be a Chargers fan and just watching Travis Kelce get wide open play after play. I'd be losing my shit if that was a player against us. Like, triple team him, put somebody on that guy. You can't let him get. I mean, it's not like he's not known. Like, everybody's trying to cover him, but just
Make somebody
hats
else
off
beat
to
you.
TMFK, man. That guy is on another level. Just such a good feel for the game, but we'll get into him more. But that was like my first kind of like impression. Is just that guy owns the Chargers. He's part owner of that. He just bought, what was it, a stake in the F1 racing team, and I thought, yeah, he probably got a stake in the Chargers too after that game.
He definitely owns them.
No, and then defense, man, defense. Can't say enough good things about how much they're performing right now. It's such a welcoming and refreshing change from defenses of the past, right? Like, this isn't even a concern, right? We're talking about adding weapons, not like, these are our weaknesses, you know? Like, we've gone over it on the show plenty of times. There's studs at every position group on defense. Loving that. And then lastly, kind of like the overall feel was like what Nick was alluding to. This was like one of the like stress-free games where you're not doing football math the last couple of minutes. Like, they can still get a 2-point conversion and they're still in it if they do an onside kick. Kind of, it was nice and comfortable. So great game, great victory. Another W on the board.
Yeah, entertaining game. The Chargers came out and they were game for the first half and were matching the Chiefs blow for blow there, shot. It was like one of those fights where no one was really playing any defense and we're just throwing haymakers left and right and had big plays and kind of like long, sustained 75-yard drives. A little nervous there, like I said, with the defense. But, yeah, it's overall just a really exciting, fun game. Chiefs never trailed in the game.
Yeah.
I was never really overly worried about it. There was a moment there at the end where the Chargers, after they went down 14, converted, I want to say, like a 4th and long. And you start looking at the clock, 16. And there's a little over 2.5. There's like 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. And that thought creeps in your head a little bit like, man, if they get a touchdown here and then get an onside kick with like a minute left. But I don't know. Just an overall pretty simple game. We're going to have to figure out somewhere to plug that in.
All right. You guys keep talking. I'm going to try to get this.
No, you're talking about like this how it started, right? It was just a shootout essentially, right? And I was thinking, like, we got our first field goal. I don't know why. They're just like driving me nuts that we're not as consistent in the red zone as we used to be. And it's got that field goal, and I just kind of started thinking about like all the points that we're leaving behind by hitting these field goals. And the Chiefs are still just crushing people. You know what I mean? Like, we're leaving so many points behind, and we're still just actually whomping on teams. And like you and I say, like, this isn't the best team, but like, God, they're the best team in football right now. But this is not the best Chiefs football team that we know that they can be.
Yeah. Kind of interesting thought about the Chargers and the Chiefs. It was just like that game kind of like encapsulated what the last few seasons have been like. Chargers hang with the Chiefs there for a little bit during the season. You think, well, maybe they're going to make this interesting. Maybe they're going to make this a race for the division down to the wire. And that was not the case. The Chiefs outlasted them, pulled away, made the plays at the end where it really mattered. Bo and Nick, you're talking, or I guess it was Bo that was talking about Travis Kelce. I don't know if you want to call him the performer of the game when Patrick Mahomes has 424 yards and 4 touchdowns. But Nick, Travis Kelce, let's just talk about him for a second before we kind of get into some more players and plays of the game. What were you seeing out of Travis?
How the fuck did he get that open? Over and over and over.
Travis?
Yeah, I mean,
that'd probably be a shorter list.
I mean, that was one of the news stories that was a national media topic, right? Is like, do the Chargers know that Travis Kelce is good at football?
Yeah.
I mean, did they game plan for him? It was incredible to see. Just, I mean, and he does this to the Chargers like every game. So it's not like a surprise.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's been doing it for a decade now, and just to just keep getting open that long pass play, man, I was just really hoping he was going to score. Like, you could tell he was just like kind of like, all right, I'm not fast enough to beat you anymore, but I'm going to lower my shoulder and lay the wood to you. So.
That safety had a good angle on him though.
Yeah, he was playing pretty deep too.
Yeah.
Safety was.
But I mean, just how incredible is it that everybody knows that he's going to be the dude that you're going to go to him, and you know the game plan for him. You know that the defensive coaches are like, all right, Travis Kelce,
yeah,
just I don't care what else happens. You got to, and then all of a sudden he's just wide open, catches 12 balls for 170 plus yards. I mean, it's incredible, just an incredible performance, all time performance, right?
Yeah, that long catch and run you were talking about, it reminded me like when you play checkers and you're trying to get your checker, you get past the guy and you're trying to get to the end of the board and get kinged, but they've got one little checker on the back of the board. And you're like, you're doing the math in your head, like, he's not going to make it.
Damn, I'm not going to get a king me.
Yeah, not going to get kinged, but still led to points. Chiefs just out, and Travis Kelce, he's just running wide open down the middle of the field. And not like they were hiding him over on the side, and he's making a tiptoe catch on the sideline and beating good coverage. No, he just kind of trotting down the middle. Oh, I'm Travis Kelce, 15, 20 yards down the field without a defender. I'm telling you, I was at the game, and on a few of those plays and those catches, I don't know what it looked like on TV, but there wasn't a Chargers defender within 10 or 15 yards of Travis Kelce.
That's what it looked like on TV.
I have to imagine there was like no Charger in the screen when he caught the ball. And you're like,
on that long pass play, it was literally just Travis Kelce and a bunch of green.
I can't remember. There is a website that keeps track of players that have single TV time, like no other person on the TV. I don't remember if that came up or not during this game. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, so there was some stats and some numbers going around about Travis Kelce's dominance of the Chargers in the last few years. I want to say he had more yards and touchdowns against one opponent than like any other player and opponent in the NFL. Somehow teams, especially the Chargers, I don't know if they forget he's on the team, if they thought he was still hurt, if they think he's losing a step, but
I don't know.
How could you not like it?
Maybe he's just that good.
I mean, he is that good, but man, you think you could have a guy within like 10 yards of him, 5 yards.
Honestly, dude, I was expecting teams like triple cover him and like somebody else to open up on our team like all the time, like Rice or you name your receiver. I thought somebody else was going to be like a bigger name because they're just double bracketing or triple bracketing 87 all the time, but that's not the case. He's going to get wide open and miss the ball.
Yeah, you mentioned Rashee Rice. To talk about him real quick, guy that is kind of blossoming here. This last handful of games.
Some games.
He's hanging on. He's catching the ball, which is obviously key.
Step one.
I think he's got 2 games in a row now without a drop. Bo, what are you seeing? What are you liking out of Rashee Rice?
I'm loving his yak potential, man. He's one of those players that, finally we see a sure-handed receiver, but then he also has the mentality to look up and get a feel for just the way people are coming at him, and he can break that opposite angle off and get really good yards after the catch. I really kind of expected him, honestly, to be the guy that would be a little bit more of a wide receiver one, since hoping that teams would try a triple team Travis Kelce. But I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him so far, man. I think Patrick's really starting to get a nice groove with him. They're getting on the same page, so that's really promising. But yeah, just a stud. He's having himself some games. I like that you're getting the young guy the ball a lot more. He seems to be having a better year than Sky Moore did at this point last year. So I'm really liking that potential from the rookie. Yeah. So Nick, what about you, man?
Dude, he just ran a dude over. I mean, just straight up, put his shoulder down, trucked him, knocked him on his ass, kept going. He's coming along. I mean, for a rookie in Andy Reid's system, and if you look at how rookie wide receivers have performed under Andy Reid, he's only had a couple that have gone over 500 or 600 yards, right? Yeah, in their rookie season, and so he's trending for that. Like you said, I mean, it's obvious that Patrick's building some trust with him on his touchdown play. I mean, you could tell it was a play design for him. They had him still on the bottom of the formation. Patrick looked in beautiful throw, touch pass to the back of the end zone. He caught it. He got his feet in bounds. I mean, the guy looks like a steal for a second-round wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah, he's definitely establishing himself as the number one wide receiver on this team.
That's fair. Yeah.
A couple guys made some big plays here and there, but he's the guy that's consistently the last 3 or 4 games where Patrick is going to, especially key moments last week against the Broncos. He had the big catch and run that kind of helped seal the game there. This week he makes a nice touchdown catch. He had the screen pass where he lowered the shoulder, picked up a nice first down later in the game. He's getting open. So it's good to see.
Yeah, it's excellent to see, especially compared to the first 6 games.
Yeah, especially with just these wide receivers are struggling to really. There's no one has come up to this point really and made themselves like a real case for the number one wide receiver like Rice has.
Right.
So a good deal for the young man. Yeah, you mentioned looking better than Sky Moore. I mean, he already has more yards and touchdowns in his rookie season in 7 games, and Sky Moore had all last year in the regular season. So I'm looking forward to seeing that guy progressing. Got to talk about Patrick Mahomes though in this game. He looked like MV Pat.
Yeah.
Not that he hasn't already been playing well already this season, but the play where he ran out and rolled out to his right on the broken play and hit MVS for the long touchdown.
Yeah.
One play where he's running to his left and he like stops and jumps and turns and like throws the ball against the grain back over to, I want to say maybe that was MVS too.
Yeah, I think it was.
On that play, 424 yards passing. So he did have the interception. A little disappointed. I thought McCole could have made a little bit more of an effort on there. He also, their replays show maybe he got hit or couldn't really like step into or fall through with that throw. So maybe that was a little bit why it was underthrown. But 424 yards, 4 touchdowns. The guy's like one of 5 players now to have that many games with the over 400 yards and 4 more touchdown passes.
Yeah. It's 5 now.
Yeah, and all the other competition he has that he's tied with are guys ahead of him have played like 300 games. And he's played in 102 games. So
I think he's tied with Drew Brees now.
Yeah, it's just another record that he is going to smash at some point. Bo, what do you think about Patrick Mahomes and what stood out to you about his performance on?
The thing about him, man, is like I feel like, especially when we do this show weekly, we kind of like glance over it because it's such an obvious given that he's such a badass, right? And then like you see him kind of struggle a little bit at the beginning of the season, and then he turns into a normal self, and you're like, oh yeah, we have the best quarterback in football. Thank God.
That's right.
Right?
Man,
like, it's nothing new, but it's always surprising. It's always amazing, right? Like we've seen this from him time in and time out, running one way, throwing the ball the other, and being spot on. But it's just so magnificent because you don't see many other quarterbacks doing that. And he had himself a game. I don't want to say he's back because I was kind of mentioning it earlier. We left so many points out there, right? Just by like having to get field goals that teams don't know, man. Once the offense is firing on all cylinders and like every receiver is reliable and not dropping passes and Mahomes and everybody's just clicking, that 70 number looks really obtainable. That the Dolphins threw, right? Like that. I've been hoping for a 50 burger, but now I want to go way past that. But
yeah, I was kind of hoping maybe Patrick would get a 500-yard game when he had 325 yards passing in the first half. You're thinking, well, shit, all he's going to do is throw 175 yards. How he did that in the second quarter of this game. That touch pass that he threw to Rashee Rice in the back of the end zone. So, I mean, Rashee Rice isn't open, right? On that, I mean, he's open, but that ball, if it gets there a half a second later, it's batted down, or the defender maybe gets an interception or just makes a play on the ball. Beautiful pass. Rashee Rice does the tiptoe there in the back of the end zone for 7 points. The scrambling, I want to say there was a 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 15 that he ran for and picked up. He's almost added more of like a running threat to his game this year. Not that he hadn't had that already in seasons past, but you saw it in the Jets game. You've seen it in other games this year where it's 3rd and long and the Chiefs seen a big pickup and guys are covered, and
he does
it. And that's helping the Chiefs too, because that's a lot of times you see that is because he has man coverage.
Yeah.
And so that's how he can run, scramble, pick it. So teams are going to stop being able to play man, and they're going to have to go to the zone. We all know what Patrick Mahomes does against the zone.
Just tears it up.
What guys like Travis Kelce does against the zone. So that's just adding another wrinkle and another threat and another aspect to his game that is really kind of opening up maybe some things for other guys. Nick, Patrick Mahomes, Well, what do you see in him? What did you see about him? Maybe that
I
stood out
mean,
to you.
he had some 2018 Patrick Mahomes plays.
Yeah.
I was watching the Commanders game, and what's their quarterback, Sam Howell, is that his name?
Yep.
So he was running to his left, and the receiver was running with him, and he threw and he missed behind the receiver, right? And the commentators are like, well, he was running, and that's a difficult throw. And it made me realize just kind of how warped our brain is with the things that we see as Chiefs fans every week from Patrick, where he's running to his left, and he can kind of like flip his hips and throw the ball to the right, like on target. I mean, he had 2 or 3 of those throws where you go, I don't see anybody else do that.
No, there's
And he does it consistently. Brock Purdy tried to do it and just came up short, right? I mean, it was close. And now it looks like maybe he was concussed. So I don't want to, take too much away from him there. But I mean, he just looked like vintage Patrick Mahomes. Like the dude was on. I mean, when he's on, it just has a different look to it. And he does things that in the NFL that nobody else can. So
yeah, looks like we got a bunch of friends here in the comments. We got Supply Chain, good to see you. We got John C. We got Brenda. It looks like we got Big Doug in the house. Our man Nick. What's up, Nick, from the Locker Room Rant? What about them Brownies? Browns are 4-2, and their defense is looking legit. And we got a little bit of a quarterback issue here with Deshaun Watson and his injury situation. Not sure what comes of that. I don't know. That's a weird thing. People are saying that he's cleared to play medically, but
what about them Brownies, Nick?
Yeah, appreciate you swinging by. Got a man Supply Chains in here. Good to see you. Appreciate you swinging by. Always good to have you on the show. Yeah, the best username. So let's talk about the defense in this game.
Yes.
They come out. They were getting a little bit trampled on there in the first quarter and a half.
Yeah.
Giving a big play, a lot of big plays. Josh Kelly had a 47 or 50-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
They had a couple of pass plays where that guy's running wide open down the field. Secondary did a nice job of recovering on a couple of those too and keeping them out of the end zone, which saved the Chiefs points. Bo, who stood out to you, or what stood out to you, or what comes to mind? Defense against Chargers.
The defense for me, it wasn't like any one person. Well, if there's gonna be one person, Drew Tranquil, but we already kind of beat that horse. No, just their ability to make adjustments in the second half was what I really noticed. Right, like you were mentioning, like it was just like the Chargers could do nothing wrong in the first half. It seemed like our defense was Swiss cheese, holes everywhere, guys were missing tackles, and then whatever Spag said to him at halftime, it worked, man. Keep that speech in your pocket because, man, they locked it down. They were gritting, they're biting their teeth, gritting hard, and just playing fucking hard. And that's what I really noticed is just that huge turnaround by them in the second half. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but that's what my big takeaway from them.
Nick?
5 sacks.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. Like, Robert's a big dude. You see him escape a lot of those. And when they were getting to him, they were getting him on the ground. Karlaftis had a sack. That sack, he was quick off the line, dude. Karlaftis looked good there.
He looked good.
Right?
Yeah.
Omenihu had a sack.
Yeah.
Right?
Omenihu's debut.
Tranquil had a sack. I mean, it was a great day for the pass rush there. You could tell Herbert was not comfortable. And they couldn't get anything going in the second half.
Yeah.
And it was predicated, a lot of that is the guys that were getting home and forcing him to get rid of the ball when he didn't want to. So
he was pressured a lot, which is really refreshing to see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're talking about Justin Herbert. He is a big dude. Like seeing him live at the game, watching him warm up, and then especially when the game started and he's going under center, taking the snap. That is a tall, big. I mean, that guy, guarantee that he's got to be what, 250? I mean, 6'4", 250. Guy's not a big fatty either.
You said he looked like one of the linemen. Did you?
He did.
He's as tall as one of those guys.
Dude, he's a big guy. I was looking at him thinking how big he was, but yeah, Drew Tranquil got a sack on him. Willie Gay got a sack. Furious George. The pass rush was getting them. Got to talk about Charles Omenihu, the new addition to the defense. Played his first game. Gets a sack, gets a tipped pass down there inside the red zone that leads to an interception. L'Jarius Sneed pick that saved the team points. That was the point when in the game when it was close, and the Chargers were kind of going blow for blow with the Chiefs. So I really like to see that. They were able to clean up the big plays and kind of stop being gashed there to kind of stop the bleeding there coming out of halftime.
Yeah.
You always hear about halftime adjustments, and I'm like, you're at the game, I'm thinking, why can't you make those adjustments at the end of the first quarter? Why do you have to wait until halftime to make these halftime adjustments?
It's a long time to wait.
We'll be good after halftime.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, Brenda, she's a
Yeah, I mean, Brenda's the one that motivated Omenihu to play so well. So
I think so.
I mean,
And thanks, by the way, but I think my beard's a little wider than Kelsey's there.
It's called Just for Men, Bo. They make a
you can get the touch, right?
Touch agree that pressure.
Yeah. Defense, they came out and it was like a tale of two halves with them. Still the only team to hold every opponent to 20 points or 21 points or less this season.
What's the average now? It's like 15. I think.
15, I think. John, put it in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, if you're averaging, you're holding teams 15 points a game with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, you're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
So,
the Chargers have been averaging 25.
No, the Chargers can score points. They've got playmakers on offense. Justin Herbert, I think the guy's slightly overrated when you look in what he's done in his career and the big interceptions he throws late in games. He's got a below 500 record as a starter. I realize that's a team stat, not a quarterback stat. But there's been plenty of games where they lost because he didn't make the big plays at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Patrick and Josh Allen, some of these other like real top-tier elite quarterbacks make those plays. But Austin Eckler, Joshua Kelly, he's a fine backup running back. They've got Keenan Allen.
They've got some weapons.
Gerald Everett, their tight end is not – no one's going to mistake him for Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews, but he's still a suitable, I'd say probably above average tight end that catch touchdowns and make plays. So
I think you're right, though, about Herbert, right? Because, I was watching First Things First with Nick Wright. And the stats he threw up Herbert's rookie season stats and then the next 3 season stats. And they're identical numbers, essentially, right? So there's just no improvement. He's good, but like you're saying, it's a little overrated. No, I don't think anybody's going to say he's not talented, but
he doesn't win games.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like that Kirk Cousins thing in prime time, right? He has this ability to just not finish when he needs to.
Right.
Although that was not the case for Kirk Cousins this week, but
right.
Sorry, John V.
Yeah, the Chocotron 5000 pulled out a primetime win over the best team in football that has now lost 2 straight games. And Brock Purdy was no Patrick Mahomes at the end of that game, throwing 2 picks on the last 2 offensive series of that game, and really kind of sunk their chances at a comeback there. They lose to Minnesota. So, just a great game, a really fun game. And like I said, it was entertaining. It was a tale of two halves, a lot of action in the first half, and kind of a defensive struggle the second half. They get the win, though. With the win, they moved to first place. Oh, before we move on, I almost forgot. McCole Hardman.
Oh, yeah.
The Jet is back.
Comes back, and on the day when they retired when they put Dante Hall, we mentioned him in the Ring of Honor. Man, I thought he was going to house that kid
Me
for
too.
about 3 or 4 seconds there.
The announcer talking about it too. Let's see if he can echo Dante Hall here.
Right.
And it just started breaking tackles. Yeah.
He came back, made a nice catch on big third down there in the red zone and kept that drive alive that led points. So
huge.
Good to see that guy back. He's going to get in the fold. I think how much offense does he really need to learn, right? I mean, the guy should know. I mean,
they change it up every year, so they gotta show him the changes. But no, yeah, he should be able to just jump right into the mix.
They probably didn't change much, from a nomenclature standpoint with Matt Nagy, right? I mean, that's all Andy Reid's system.
Right. I think it's more just like the subtleties, right? Like when they're changing a play, like they use different code words and stuff like that every year. So like that, like the small stuff.
I had like a sub package for Hardman that they were like, hey, here's like the 10 plays. Something, right?
Yeah, I bet you he comes to the table. He's like, "Hey, this is what I remember. What else? Are you guys doing something different, or something like that?" And he's like, "This is what I can do." And they already know what he's capable of. But
what did you guys think about Saleh saying that because of the emergence of Gibson in their offense, that like that's why Nicole wasn't involved and why they were getting rid of him? And then like you look it up, and Gibson's had like 3 catches for 30 yards this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to like question and really like my view of that guy as being a good NFL head coach is really kind of like
got you in the hard knocks,
breaking down a little bit. Like, I don't know. I before the season started, I would have told you I thought the guy was a really good coach and that I kind of viewed him favorably, but the way he's kind of acted towards the media and then his little temper tantrum meltdown with the refs where he got a penalty against the Chiefs, and then the comments about Nicole Hardman and the comments about we've embarrassed every quarterback that we've played.
Yeah,
this
that's
year.
the point where I was like, oh, screw that guy.
Yeah.
I thought I liked you.
Definitely not as high on him as I was in the past, but Chiefs get the win. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, the new guys, Minhue and Nicole Hardman all, played big parts in that.
Yeah, completely.
Chiefs find themselves tied with the Philadelphia Eagles for the best record in the NFL. In first place, the AFC. This week's poll, we want to bring that up.
If I can,
I got you.
Get it.
It's sitting right in front of me.
My laptop's turned away from me.
Since the Chiefs are in first place, we wanted to know what everybody kind of thought about some of these teams that are the rest of the pack there, kind of nipping at the Chiefs' heels. There's some 5-2 and some 4-2 teams there that looking like they may be contenders in the AFC that the Chiefs might have to deal with at some point.
A lot of recency bias on these results, I can tell.
Yeah, so basically what we did was we just looked at the records of teams that were kind of right behind the Chiefs in the standings there. You have the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Jaguars, and the Bills. The Browns were in there. I put on there they got some votes from some people, and the Bengals though being at 3-3 with the Chiefs being at 6-1, I just didn't really see putting them in there right now, and they've struggled. Looks like they're playing against the 49ers, and maybe Brock Purdy is going to be at some of that game, makes it easier for them. But I was kind of seeing maybe them going to 3-4 playing against the Niners. I have a hard time seeing the Niners lose 2 games, but
yeah,
they were definitely got write-in votes in the comments there. I want to say it was probably the Bengals were probably the most common team that people put in there that weren't in these. We obviously only get 4 choices.
Who'd you vote
on
for?
the next poll? So right now for me, I think it's the Dolphins, just with how explosive the offense is.
That's who I voted for too.
Tua is playing really well. They've got Tyreek Hill. They've got Jalen Waddle. Raheem Mostert is one of the best running backs in the NFL right now. If he can stay healthy for the rest of the year, he's going to be a guy that you have to deal with. So I went Dolphins. Sounds like Nick went Dolphins, probably for most of the same reasons I have.
Yeah, I mean, they put up 70 points on a team. So, I mean, that's
fairly reasonable to think that they're a threat.
Yeah, so I don't know. Their offense is legit, and I know that they didn't do so well this last game, but I mean, they look like the team that is if there's going to be a threat. I mean, we've beat the Bills in the postseason. The Bills don't look like they're the Bills of a couple of years ago, right? The Ravens, we always stack up well against the Ravens. If it's not for a Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble, right, at the end of the game when we were basically closing it out, like Lamar Jackson's never beat Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty fair to say the Dolphins. And the Jaguars, is that who else was on there?
Yeah, it was Dolphins, Ravens, Jags, Bills.
I mean, the Jags, like, we beat them 3 times in a row
Right.
pretty easily. So,
Yeah, I mean, I've let go of Tyreek Hill, but that doesn't mean that I want to play him in the playoffs.
Yeah, nobody wants to play him.
He's not a badass player still.
The Jags were a weird team for me. Like, I'm seeing a lot of pundits starting to get really high on the Jags. They're talking about
they're a good team.
they've won, 4 or 5 in a row now?
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence is just so lackluster. Like, he's either on or he's off. He's never that consistent enough to, like, make the Jags a contender or, like, a threat for the Chiefs to me.
Not behind the Prince, huh?
Yeah, not behind the Prince. No, I went with Dolphins too, just because all the reasons you guys said. I mean, they're armed to the teeth with players, but I just I'm curious what their defense is. You know, like one week they do really well, another week they don't. So I'm really curious to see what they do. But for that reason, I don't think any of these teams are a threat to us. I think we got this year. We're starting to look way better than all these other teams are. So.
Yeah, the Dolphins, there's kind of this knock on them going
John C. nailed it right there.
Yeah, John C. The refs, even though the Chiefs get all the calls, right out of the gate in that Chargers game, they got a pass interference call that kept alive that drive instead of going 3 and out to start the game. That was absolutely ridiculous. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
To the defensive pass
Chiefs
interference.
lost a touchdown on a
weak
block in the back. One-handed block in the back.
And then Schwartz is like, this isn't a
He pretty much did this.
Right.
But it's from the side too. Like,
Right, I mean, it
shouldn't have been enough to overturn a scoring play.
Right.
No. Just terrible officiating, and anybody who sits there and says that the referees are helping the Chiefs win or they're in the Chiefs' pocket just isn't watching these games. So,
I don't know. Says, the refs, unless they're Swifties, hopefully they have kids that are. I think I'm a Swiftie now. I don't know about you guys, but I open up my social media feed, and that's all I get is Taylor Swift news. So I guess I didn't know it. I guess I'm a Swiftie. I get all of her news.
Yeah.
But hey, if we keep winning, she's there. Quote Andy Reid, she's more than welcome to come to any game she wants.
Yeah, if Travis Kelce gets 170 yards a game.
Yeah. Bring her along.
Please.
As someone who's dating someone that has a 14-year-old daughter,
who is a Swiftie,
I've been hearing a lot of Taylor Swift music, and so it's not just the coverage during the games. Taylor Swift's all right. She's not terrible. I don't have any of her music on my playlist, but definitely worse music out there that you could listen to. So, appreciate everybody. Looks like our man Chris is in here. He made it. Good to see you, Chris.
Up, Chris? What's up, everyone? Thank you guys for joining us.
The poll's still open. If you're following us on X, you can go over there and cast your vote if you got an account. You can follow us on all of our other social medias at Chiefs Kingdom Live. You can see the handle there at the top of the thing. Yeah, I'm not really. The Ravens to me are up and down. And there's this knock against the Dolphins about they haven't beaten anybody with a winning record. But I mean, how many teams with the winning record have the Chiefs beaten right now? One.
Yeah.
The Jags, right?
Yeah, Jags and
I mean, they lost to the Lions. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Bears. They beat the Chargers. Those are all teams with a losing record. Who else have they beat? I don't know. I'm struggling to think of the other wins here off the top of my head, but
I have to pull up the schedule.
I should know that.
Yeah, Scott, this is your wheelhouse, man.
Right. No, it is definitely in my wheelhouse. The Vikings, that's a losing team that they beat.
But the Vikings, I mean, they just beat the best team. So that's a quality win, even if their record doesn't indicate it, right?
That's true. I mean, the Vikings, even last year, they were winning all those games by one score.
They're better than their record indicates.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was going to get to. They're a fighting team.
Chris, all three of us. You missed it there at the beginning. Bo actually
moved here.
Bo travels around the country 3 or 4 months at a time here, and
I'm moving into Scott's basement. I'm going to sleep on the pool table.
Yep. So. Yeah, he's going to move into the Chiefs Lounge down here.
You ever see that movie Suspect Zero about the serial killer that's all over the country, and that's why nobody knows he exists?
No, I've never seen that.
I was like, shut up.
Oh man. What else we got?
Well, we could, Scott. you-
Talk about this Broncos game. Yeah, I just had to get a drink of water. Allergies and a little bit of a cold or something lingering from last week, so throat's getting a little rough here. Chiefs playing the Broncos.
Again.
Round 2, trying to run the streak to 17 straight wins against the division rival.
Sounds made up.
It does sound
The win streak is like in full teen angst mode, right? I mean, 16, 17.
I wonder what the next longest winning streak is against one team.
It's 20.
No, not the longest. The next
Oh, the
one
next
behind the Chiefs
Yeah, I
and the
don't know.
Broncos right
Oh,
now.
you mean like active?
Yeah. But
Patrick Mahomes can set a record with most consecutive wins against a team without a loss to start their career. If he beats the Broncos,
He's
would go
never
to
lost to the
13-0. He's never lost to them.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah,
lost to the
so
Broncos.
he'll go 13-0 if he wins this week. And that would be the first time anybody's ever started 13-0 against a team.
Just another record for Patrick Mahomes.
If it happens, I'm just really happy it happened against the Broncos.
Yeah, right?
It's just like-
Exactly. What a good team to do that against.
Yeah, they got to play the game though, and
They do.
it's going to be
I said if.
inclement weather coming up here
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be snowing.
in Denver. Yeah, it's supposed to be having snow in the forecast. Bo, how you feeling?
I feel good. I feel like we played them. We get them beaten up. Like, again, no Nick Bolton. So, I mean, I think we know what to expect. I think the Broncos are just working out so many kinks right now that they're a little predictable, right? I don't feel like they have a full playbook at their disposal. And our guys are catching fire right now. I feel really good about this game. I really kind of expect our offense to click a lot more this game than it did last time. We kind of sputtered out last game. I could really see us stepping on the gas, finally putting the team way in the rearview mirror, and I wouldn't mind that being the Broncos, as Nick was alluding to. But no, I feel great. How about you, Nick? How you feel about this game?
Yeah, same, right? It's not like there's been a half a season between games for them to get markedly better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They just sloughed through a bad win against the Green Bay Packers, who were looking awful this year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Love, his days are probably numbered, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it's weird to play a team in season just 2 games apart. I don't think that typically happens a lot. Sometimes I guess it happens closer to the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, we're at Arrowhead West. We're one of the Arrowhead Wests, right there in the Mile High City. Patrick is a snow game guy.
That's true. That is true.
So if it's a snow game, he's got us covered there. And like you said, it looks like the offense kind of took a step forward and like they're figuring things out. And it doesn't really seem like Denver's figuring things out yet. So
No, their defense is putrid. The Chiefs really failed to capitalize against that bad defense last week. I don't see that continuing.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't see this team struggling to score points against the Broncos, even in the bad weather. I think you might see a heavy dose of Isaiah Pacheco in the run game, maybe in this game. But if Rashee Rice is going to continue to step up and gain Patrick's trust and make big plays for this offense, with Travis kind of rounding into form, I wonder how much that injury bothered him the first couple of games. I mean, he obviously missed week 1 against the Lions.
Right.
He's hitting his groove, and if you got Travis Kelce in a groove and you have somebody else other than him stepping up, I'm not saying the guy's got to come in and be a Justin Jefferson or come in and be one of those guys who's getting 170 yards and 2 touchdowns a game, but somebody that can draw attention from the defense and help free up Kelce and maybe free up the run game a little bit. This offense is going to blow up, and they're going to take off. Defense, the Broncos can be had.
Yeah, oh yeah, easily.
What do you think, Bo? What's the key to the game? Maybe player to watch?
Oh, players to watch. I mean, there's all of them. Just watch the Chiefs, right? Like that's let's watch the Chiefs. No, I would say Pacheco. You just kind of brought him up. I think it's going to be pretty important for the Chiefs to try to establish a run game, like a solid run game. We seem to struggle when teams know we're running it, we're obviously running it for a yard or two. Like it's just one of those things that it's just not sharp and just good for us right now. So I could see them trying to run Pacheco and sadly CEH a lot to try to establish that run game a little bit more, just to put that on tape for other teams that are going to play us later in the season. And then I would say that's kind of like our weakness as the offense right now is our run game. I mean, Patrick and the receivers are clicking. MVS had a great game. So the receiving core I'm not too worried about right now, but yeah, I like to see more of a run game. I want to see some stellar running, like we just saw Kelly run on us, right? Like a 40-yard touchdown run. I would like to see that at Pacheco, but that's just my thoughts. Nick?
Yeah.
Brenda's trolling us a little bit here with the CEH comment.
It will. You know it'll be CEH.
Yeah, very well could be. I sure hope not. I haven't seen CEH get the ball.
I am going to go Mecole Hardman. I think he's the player to watch. I think you saw that. I mean, he had the punt return. They went to him on a huge third down, right? Where that converting that allowed us to go put the game away.
Yeah.
And Patrick, when he was one-on-one, that was a bad ball for whatever reason. Maybe he got hit. Maybe he just underthrew it. But when Mecole Hardman one-on-one with the defender, he went to him.
Yeah.
And so he's going to have a whole extra week of time with the offense to get in more of the packages there. And I think that, like, we haven't had a guy that is really stretching the field. And I think you're going to see Mecole Hardman be that guy where they're going to be able to, hopefully gets a home run this week with him.
He's sneaky fast.
Yeah, dude. They said he had 20 touchdowns for the Chiefs. So,
yeah.
Wow.
Keely, come here. Go.
Yeah,
rushing and receiving, right? I mean, Mecole Hardman scored a bunch of touchdowns on those jet sweeps and those little pop passes.
Yep.
Do you think we see a jet sweep with Hardman? Because those have kind of been lackluster for us this year. We haven't had the speed.
I can't believe we didn't see one against the Chargers. To be honest with you, that's kind of his specialty. Yeah. That's his forte, right? I mean, he's he's a decent receiver, but yeah, the guy's a weapon out of the backfield. So I don't know, maybe they're keeping that one, want to keep it off a tape, but.
Big Doug here. Why do we have so much trouble running the ball against the Chargers? Your guys' thoughts?
Chiefs struggle to run the ball on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
But they also don't focus on it. The offensive line is constructed to protect Patrick. And
they had a 40-yard run called back on a chintzy hold, right?
Yeah, they did. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco had a good long run that he busted out that they got called back. So they're just not like a running team.
It seemed like the Chargers were like, we're not going to let you run the ball. We're going to let you throw it to Travis Kelce a bunch.
No running, but you guys can throw it all you want here. I just think it's too obvious when they're going to run. Like, it's always like the situation where it calls to run for it, right? And the Chiefs will run it. Like, they very rarely do like play action on that, in that like a 3rd and 1 or something like that, right? So I don't know. Me personally, I just think it's too obvious. We're running it, so they know. So they call the right play against it.
I mean, I love Isaiah Pacheco. He's not a top 5 running back in the league, though, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I mean, I think that some of it's that, like you said. I mean, we're better at pass blocking, and they don't commit to the run. So some of these running backs, they need more carries to really get going. We're kind of constantly rotating guys out. It's hard for them to get a rhythm. I think there's a lot of reasons, but probably most of it is just they're not getting to the run. I mean, they're like, hey, we're a passing team, we're a pass first team.
We have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't want them to be a running team, but it is frustrating sometimes. Like when you're, because a lot of that Chargers game was like field possession, right? That's why we didn't score as much in the second half, because we were getting the ball. Their punter was incredible in that.
Their punter was rocking.
I mean, hitting us. We were constantly at the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
I remember I told my wife, I was like, please don't let us start this at the 3-yard line. And they punted, and it was like, oh, we're at the 7, So, and so when you're in that position, you want to be able to run the ball. But yeah, it's a good question, right? I mean, I don't know if, like you said, maybe they're telegraphing the run. Right. I heard that Jawan Taylor, how he lines up, you can tell if it's a run or a pass play. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe they got some tells. You'd like to think that, I mean, there's some teams like, they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like Tennessee, right? Like they're going to run the ball. You know it.
Yep.
Derrick Henry's coming. Can you stop him?
Yeah.
Right?
So, yep. Look, when your quarterback throws for 420 yards and 4 touchdowns, you don't really need to run the ball.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
Pacheco did his first receiving touchdown.
Like ever?
Yeah, last game. He's had plenty on the ground. That was his first receiving touchdown this last game.
It was a nice play too.
Yeah.
yeah.
You racking your brain for Pacheco plays? Like, that doesn't sound right.
No, it does. No, that sounds about
Running
right.
through the Rain Man brain.
Yeah, trying to think back.
87 toothpicks, definitely 87.
Every play of his career. I've got photographically memorized in my line here, but no. Let's do some score predictions. I see some people throwing up some score predictions in the chat here.
Let's see. I miss him. Oh, here we go. John C. 34-10. John C. almost got the score right last week. You think he said 34-17 and it was 31-17.
Miller Nostradamus there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with John C. here and go like 31. I'm gonna go 14. Give him a garbage time TD.
Nick,
I'm gonna go 38-10.
ooh,
Beat down from Mile High
38-10.
City.
a beatdown. Yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. I think the Chiefs, maybe with the weather, I don't know how many field goals they're going to be kicking. So I'm going to go, let's go 35-14.
Ooh.
I think the Broncos maybe get like a late garbage touchdown here. So
Ravens got 27-13. Ben's got 31-14.
We've got a special guest here that can come and give their prediction live on the show.
Come give your prediction.
yeah, we special guest live in studio here.
You guys know her. She's been in the
Everybody
chat.
knows
You
her.
know her, you love her.
The one,
CKL favorite.
the one and only Laney R
Hey!
in the house.
Yeah, your camera's right there.
Laney's in town visiting here, and she's stopping by CKL. What's your prediction? What's the score going to be?
I don't know. 36-10.
Yes. I like it.
36-10.
36-10.
I don't think the Broncos are
You just $1 me. I said 38-10.
Well, I said that the Broncos might get 14. She laughed at me and said they're not getting 14.
They're not getting 14.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, this isn't.
They can be sneaky. I mean, but it's not the Broncos of old. So
Right?
I mean,
Thank God.
yeah, no, I mean, lifelong Chiefs fan. We've been through the good and the bad. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of
Mom,
bad years.
Laney R is getting some love here
Yeah.
in the chat, getting some shout outs from Brenda and from John.
Movie star. I don't know about that, Brenda, but thank you.
Putting a face with the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Who's your player to watch? Who has the biggest game for the Chiefs? Defense or offensive player? You can't pick Patrick Mahomes because that's too easy.
You can pick Patrick.
that's because you always pick him.
I don't always pick him.
You do
That's why
too.
Scott's
I do
always
not.
right.
You do
No.
too. I think the receiver, Rice,
Right?
Rice?
Raheem Rice.
Rasheed Rice? He
Yeah,
could have it.
She, right there. Yeah, I don't know. At least he's been catching the ball lately. So.
Yeah. No, he's been tearing it up.
Hanging on to it, too.
Shades of like Dwayne Bowe rookie season.
Yeah, was that his rookie season or was that like his
Yeah.
second or third season?
I thought it was his rookie year.
Yeah, he was good.
You would know better than me though, Rain Man.
I have a Dwayne Bowe jersey.
Yeah, Lane's got a Dwayne Bowe, a Debo jersey. So, did we miss anybody else's picks here in the chat? We got kind of a little bit of a hodgepodge setup here tonight. We're going to have to get some technical stuff situated with Bo, since I think the three of us are going to be doing the show together here mostly for the rest of the season. Since Bo is, I'm not going to say he's returning home to Chiefs Kingdom because this isn't his home, but he's
home.
He's made his way. He's made his way. He was talking about driving around town, and we went and grabbed some pizza here. Well, we go to the pizza shop here in Smithville, and they had a Patrick Mahomes painting there on the wall on the inside, and he was like, Man, I just love being here. It's like, everywhere you go, you see all the Chiefs stuff everywhere, and Bo travels all over the place.
It's a great time to be a Chiefs fan and be in Kansas City.
Really
Yeah.
refreshing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see a defensive player having a big game.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
Let's go. Man, they're going to be trying to run the ball, right? The Broncos are in the bad weather. I don't know what Russ has got left in this thing here, but
Reed.
let's go.
Ooh, Reed, I like that.
Yeah.
How about? I mean, I want to say Chris Jones, but that's almost too easy. That's like
You
Saying
always
Patrick
pick
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones.
He didn't get a sack this last
Why
game.
don't you
did he?
pick MVS?
I don't think so.
So his sack streak.
He was
old
he was
Butterfingers?
getting held on every play, so it was tough for him
Yeah.
to get sacks.
Every play.
Yeah. I'll go Trent McDuffie. I think Trent McDuffie has
Oh, dang.
gets an interception, maybe
Yeah.
forces a fumble, maybe gets a strip sack. His first interception maybe of the season. The guy's been playing lights out. When you look at some of these websites that grade and rate out players, he's like the top corner in the league this year, top 2 or 3, depending on which website you're looking at. So look for Trent McDuffie to have a big game. Winning streak, trying to keep that thing alive. Laney R is going to duck out of here and give Bo his seat back before we jump out of here.
Laney R, everybody.
Yes,
Hey.
round of applause for Laney
Thank you.
making her YouTube and CKL debut.
You're famous now.
Anybody in the chat have any questions or anything we missed we should talk about before we get out of here? Uh,
I like your pick about McDuffie on defense. I think the defense has the potential to have a really good game. Is it like you're saying, inclement weather against Russell Wilson and the Broncos, as we all know, is late's not the best. Defensive wise, I might say one of the linebackers though. Maybe not Drew Tranquil. Maybe he's got like Edwards.
we got Leo Chanel.
Leo Chanel would be a good pick.
Oh yeah,
He's been playing good.
he's been playing really well. Furious George.
Menahue might not be a bad pick. I mean, he had a sack and a batted pass. It was picked right in the red zone. I mean, he's on fire.
I'm stoked about our defense,
Yeah.
guys. I love it.
I was listening to the 8:10 post game, and I think it's at Josh Briscoe. And he was like, "How do you throw a pass when you have Godzilla in the middle of the field?" 'Cause, I mean, I didn't realize that Menahue's like his tallest. I mean, they're both like 6'6".
Did you watch the Chiefs rewind or like the post game interview with Mitch Holthus? And they did Charles Benahue.
Yeah.
He's towering over
Gigantic,
Mitch
right?
Holthus.
Oh,
Mitch
that
Holthus
is-
is like 6 foot tall. He's not small.
No, yeah. Charles Minnie is a big guy. He's a big man.
Huge.
So I like John C's suggestion here. Mahomes feeding Kelsey to get the record in Denver. Yeah, over old Shannon Sharp there.
That would be awesome.
I've come around a little bit on Shannon Sharp here since he likes to give the Chiefs their credit and is one of the few media guys that just isn't always trying to jump on the next bandwagon and say, oh, this is the guy that's going to replace Mahomes. This guy's better than Patrick Mahomes now. He's been consistent in his support and claiming that the Chiefs are the best team and that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, but still a hated donkey back from the days when him and John Elway would kind of rip our hearts out in a lot of these games as a young Chiefs fan. So
John V in the house.
Dang.
John V's in the house.
We had all the locker room rant stop by tonight. Gentlemen.
John V just missed Laney R. You just missed Laney, man. She was on CKL, John.
You'll have to rewind. Check it out.
You have to go back and watch the replay here, but I know for a fact John V is one of Laney's favorites. So Laney's giving you a shout out here, John. So appreciate you swinging by. His 49ers have kind of fallen on a little bit of hard. Looks like maybe he's going to be out going against the Bengals this week after they were just cruising and crushing teams the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season. They've hit a little bit of a rough patch here, but it looks like everybody. Brenda's giving John V a shout out. John C giving his other buddy there, the other John, that rhyme last initial that rhymes with a V. John C is giving him a shout out. Thanks for swinging by, John. Good to see you, man. And Nick was in here earlier talking his Browns nonsense and talking about maybe the Chiefs play the Browns. Either of you guys think the Browns make the playoffs this year?
They might. Man, they have a fighter's
They're
chance.
just too unsettled at the quarterback
Yeah,
position with what's going on with
the
Deshaun
7
Watson
seed though,
and-
that's not like that high of a bar anymore. Right?
No, that's true.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, you only have to be just slightly better than half of the teams.
And they are slightly better than half of
Slightly,
the
yes,
teams,
yeah.
right? It's so weird to say. It's like when Baker joined them the first year. Like, wait, the Browns are a team again this year? It's just doesn't sound right coming off the
If
top.
the Chiefs hold on to the 1 seed, they won't be playing the Browns because I don't think the Browns will make it to the divisional round.
Right.
But I mean, I'd be all about it if they did.
Yeah,
I mean, they have a
wouldn't
good
mind.
defense, but I mean, you saw what the Colts are able to put 38 on them with a backup quarterback. So I mean, I like our chances.
Dude, I think anybody can get high on Myles Garrett's testosterone, John V. That guy
Woo!
is just putting it out there. He's so good.
Yeah.
Standing jump over a line of people and then enough time to like recover, jump, and block the kick.
To jump over a lineman wearing pads who doesn't go, he's not going down for the tush push, right? They're not
Right.
going to just lay down
Yeah.
there like that guy's getting ready to do this, and you just jump over a
Yeah.
6 foot dude.
Yeah, they say like the what do they call that? The dying slowly, right? Is what you do on the line. So you're not like trying to get low and
Yeah.
out, like you just like slowly like get taken over.
Right.
So you're not focused on, like you said, like getting low or anything. It's incredible. It was an incredible play. I mean, the guy is a menace.
You guys ever seen a defensive player start doing crossovers before he's getting
Yeah.
ready to rush? Dude, I mean, that's what a mind fuck. He's just
Yeah.
messing with those old linemen. You're like, oh no, he's doing the crossover move. He's doing the crossover move. Like,
Who was it?
please don't hurt me.
Who was it that saw? Was it Micah Parsons coming at him? It was like, oh my god,
Geno Smith, yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you got that hot mic. I'm sure you probably would rather not that audio not gotten picked up and put out there. So,
We'll have to get that and throw it in our
Okay.
thing.
and so we got Gary in the house. Gary, good to see you. Appreciate you
dude?
swinging by.
Hello.
I don't know. Anything else? Is anybody questions? Anybody in the chat we want to talk about before we get out of here? Anything we missed? You guys can think of? We've talked about.
I'm drawing a blank, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've pretty much covered it all. So
I guess the one thing we didn't really talk about, I mean, is there's still leaves on the trees. Haven't even taken the kids out trick or treating, and the Chiefs are already 3+ games up on everybody in the division. So
Looking like another
Is it-
Arrowhead Invitational is coming.
is it too early to call it that the division is over? I mean, obviously, barring anything freakish or unfortunate happening to anybody.
Well, with that being said, I
Yeah,
would say
well-
no, but like that's a huge bar you're putting up there.
no, I mean, the Broncos are and the Raiders are in the rearview mirror. The Raiders, they just lost to the Bears, who was playing Division II quarterback,
Man, that's crazy.
which was kind of weird because they beat the Patriots the week before. So I know the Patriots aren't the Patriots of old, but they beat the Bills this weekend. So those two teams are contenders. The only team that was a serious contender was the Chargers, and now they're 3 games back with the Chiefs having the tiebreaker over them. The Chiefs, the Chargers, so they're 3-4 now.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs are going to lose 4 games all year. The Chargers are going to win out, and the Chiefs are going to drop 3 or 4 more over the last 10 games.
That's fair.
I don't see that happening.
I mean, no,
I really
we
don't.
did record predictions the first episode of the season,
Mhm.
right? And like, I don't think any of us picked over 4 losses. I think
No.
I might have picked four, but now that the year's going on, the 4 teams that I was thinking we were going to lose to, I kind of don't see that anymore. I thought one was going to be like the Bills or the Bengals. I thought those were going to be like, I mean, there's still going to be challenging games.
We'd still
but,
lose
like,
one of those.
still could, and I'm not like any given Sunday, but I'm not worried about those games like I would have been like
Yeah.
last year playing those 2.
Right now,
games.
it's the Dolphins game in Frankfurt.
yeah. But then it's even that game, right? It's in Germany.
Yeah.
Both
That's the
teams are
thing
going
is
to be
those-
jet lagged, and so
Yeah,
it's just
but
like
like those international games, it's always like there's like one team that seems like they didn't get off the plane. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, well,
First
when the Chiefs played in London against who was it, the Lions? And just like, I mean, they just trounced the Lions. I think it was
Last year.
This was years ago.
Oh,
but,
years ago.
I mean, it just always seems like one of the, like there's one team. Thursday night football
Yeah.
can be like that too, right? Where it's like one
Yeah.
team's ready and the other team just doesn't seem ready at all. So
Yeah.
that game is a little concerning. But I mean, if our defense, look, we said this, right? If our defense is top 5, if they're not going to give up more than 20 points a game, like we're not going to lose.
My 16-1 is in play still.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My direct prediction of 16-1. So perfectly, excuse me, perfectly attainable. I think they can get it. So appreciate everybody for jumping in the chat tonight.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
We're gonna be working on and perfecting and fine tuning this 3 people here in one place doing the podcast.
John B says he found your twin.
Yeah, I don't know what John B's talking about there by twin. So
Patrick.
I wish Patrick
Oh, there you
was
go.
my twin. So
Let me see. You shared it with Nick.
Oh, dude, he did you dirty.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
That's your twin, dude. That's Scott Roger.
No, who is that? Like, where did he find that?
Can you guys see it on the screen?
Yeah.
Oh man, why did you do that? That's not.
I mean, who is that? Is that someone famous or is that someone? I don't even know who that is.
It's a Scotty Roger.
I mean, I realize that it's
Apparently,
looks
this
like
guy
him.
was stuck on a flight for like 12 hours, no air conditioning, plane was grounded.
Huh. All right.
Well done, John B. Well done.
Nice find, John.
I keep looking at this.
Thanks. Thanks. You think I look like that guy?
Yeah.
That's what people think you look like, by the way.
Yeah. You know, it could be worse, I guess. It could be better, but it could be worse. So. Hey, man, not everybody can be a stunningly, charmingly handsome ladies' man like you, John B. Okay?
Yeah.
Just not all of us got
We
it.
don't
So,
all get the genetics like
Yeah.
the bonus.
yeah, Gary, appreciate you coming by. We definitely would love it if you help spread the word.
Yeah, man.
Click and like, click and subscribe. Sure helps us do that. We're still got the giveaway here that we're working on that we want to do. So
30 people away from
I haven't
giving it
looked at
away.
the sub thing
It's
there. So
close.
next time you've got the holidays coming up or getting together at a Chiefs party with your friends, just take their phone and
Nice.
go to YouTube and subscribe to Chiefs Kingdom Live or show them how to do it.
Win yourself a Patrick Mahomes jersey.
Yeah, click and like, click and subscribe definitely helps the cause too. So
Yeah, I mean, my wife is gonna start to get pissed that I spent all that money on that stuff that's just sitting in my house.
She's like, is this for the giveaway or is this for you?
Right.
Come on, it's been sitting here now for a while.
No, if we're not gonna give away, I might as well start using it. Right?
Might as well take that Jack Stack steak rub.
yeah, we'll be back next Wednesday at 8:00. We'll be talking about the game against the Broncos and looking ahead to the game against the Miami Dolphins in Germany.
That'd be cool.
I don't see Patrick Mahomes going to Germany and losing. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I don't see that as being a game that Patrick is going to let the team lose.
I don't see
Yeah.
the script writers writing the script that way either.
No, yeah, I don't see the
Well,
script writers.
did you
writing
guys
stuff like that,
make
so.
your Venmo payments to the refs this week?
Yeah,
No.
for sure.
No,
Auto pay.
after last week's performance, I cancel my.
You're waiting for your
I
payment.
Well, I
cancel
think
my
that-
NFL referee subscription.
No, the Browns they paid more, so they got
Now
more.
Browns
Oh,
paid
that's
more,
a-
so they
that's
got the call,
priority.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, thanks again for everybody who stopped by. Thanks to Laney for making a special guest
Yeah,
appearance
Yeah, it's fun.
in person. It's good to have our man Bo here
Yeah.
in the heart of Chiefs Kingdom for the rest of the season through the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Click like and subscribe and tell a friend and a family member if you haven't done so already. Don't forget, we'll be back next Wednesday at 8:00. And until then, let's go Chiefs!